Okay, welcome to our Shadowrun session number 68 of 267 for this night's group, or season 2, episode 30. You're up to the first day of May of 2051, and well, we're 30 sessions into the year so far, and you haven't done the whole year, so guess that means there's probably another 30 sessions to go until you clock over into the next season. At the table today we have Ross.
Yes, I played
I need to watch these things.
Yes, I'm playing the lovable troll healer follower of the Ekithump from the BBC Pantheon. Currently been studying for his exams in the college Magic 101 area, and slightly concerned of his next job is completely opposite of his previous rockstar job, where we have to kidnap instead of protect. But we are sort of protecting. We're protecting the rockstar from her own good.
Protecting her from unfortunate endorsements.
Yeah, which we can't say for some members.
Okay, and
I was going to say, autonomy might dictate otherwise, because she might think that it's a good deal and she might like it, but someone else would like something else to happen. So,
well, someone's paying for that job.
Yep.
And next up we have is Ariadna.
I am Shadow, Elf, Arcanist, somewhat awakened. I think most of... What does awakened mean?
Awakened just means you have access to magic.
Oh, okay.
That's all awakened
I
means.
always thought it meant that I was aware that the corporate world is just a lie.
No,
Because
that's what being a Shadowrunner is.
it is. That's how I started out life, as a Robin Hood in a corporate forest, which, like the actual Robin Hood, did not work out so well for me. So now I am shadowrunning and doing my best not to be identified by said previous corporate employers.
Though I do like the idea that your actual career was con artist.
I would still like to go with corporate Robin Hood.
I'm sure you would.
Sounds so much better. It's all about presentation.
Uh-huh.
And that's it. Over to the next person.
Online today we have Jeremy.
Good evening, all. Yes, I'm playing Desmond Deadshot. Well, he believed he was an orphan elf growing up on the streets of Seattle, but has since discovered that possibly there's a family out there for him, although apparently not one that necessarily wanted to know about him for most of his life. So not entirely certain how that good, bad, or indifferent yet. I've discovered that, well, actually, there might be more to life than just getting on to becoming one of the agents in a motorcycle gang.
What? You lie.
Okay, it's possible. It's not like getting from first seconds about this yet, but might be new.
Which then brings us to our next online player being Al.
Hello, everybody. I play Tum, the narcissistic, image-obsessed elf who behaves as though she's a lot more important than she truly is in the grand scheme of things. But due to her charm and generally lively spirits and party attitude, she can usually convince others in rooms that she is, in fact, important and cool. She shadow runs because she is a chronically failed business owner who has a taste for gambling and wasting money and generally very forgetful for some reason. Might have businesses that she doesn't know are running, that do well when she does not intervene in them.
Which is why they're running.
And for her origin story, well, yeah. And as for her origin, well, she would love to know.
I'm sure that can be arranged in small, mysterious pieces.
I was going to say, you shouldn't remind him of that. You really shouldn't.
Next online we
I haven't taken any.
Next online we have is Josh.
Hello, I'm Josh. I play Flogger. Flogger, big burly troll. Flogger model for Mankini. And as we are in the first day of May, I call it Maykini month.
Nice.
Let the Mankinis spread through wherever we are.
I'm sure you.
Already created a trend whereby.
I'm sure you are spreading your mankini wherever possible.
Perfect.
And as it is summer in Seattle, it is a good
He's
time.
already spread very, very thin.
That is true. And last online today is M.
Hello, I play Bolt, forever lovable puppy, and not the sharpest bolt in the shed. I have vague memories of the past session, so recap would be awesome. I think we were trying to find out more about the free healthcare guys, and also finding more information out about a new job, and that's like all I remember.
Okay, so the recap for last session. You had to wait 5 days for payment, and then you went to the Universal Brotherhood for an ice cream tasting competition where superheroes were serving the ice cream. Shadow and Hollow spoke to Wraith, who was there doing investigation. Also suspicious, as most of the heroes appeared to be suspicious of the free services and the nice food. Then on the Thursday we had Shadow having afternoon tea with Harriet, and there was a meet with the Johnson at after due to to actually give out the book with the getting the money, so you all got paid well, as the clock then turned over by the time you got your money. So on the current game day, you met with a Johnson after each of you got your monthly pay plus your money for the mission, and you've negotiated a 25k job with the Johnson each, and you have details of a razor guy known as Juan Diablo. I can't really get the words out properly. And you've got to kidnap Euphoria on the 5th of May for 3 days. And looks like the...
Oh, bloody hell.
Did we just get all blacks?
I know you got
We got
two
eight.
white.
2.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
2. No, I think last time I got 3.
Last night you got one less black. Actually, you have to open the bag and pull more out.
On the plus side is if I decide to be super holy, I flip those.
Just one thing to confirm regarding the job.
Mm-hmm.
Did we have to specifically kidnap Euphoria on a certain date, or just by a certain date?
You have to stop her making the Friday appearance.
So,
Right, okay.
yeah,
So technically we have got time, we can kidnap her any time between now and her appearance.
she's currently in a flat, a penthouse. We have to have
Yeah.
her moved to the flat by Friday, or like Friday morning sort of thing, and keep her Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'd be guessing we really want to get her on Thursday at the latest. And it was Monday when we got the job?
Monday night.
Yeah.
So you have roughly, technically it should be ticking over to the next day before you can actually do
Yeah,
anything.
it should technically be Tuesday, so
Yeah.
we
So
really kind of want to get it Thursday.
So the recap does the thing, and now you're early morning Tuesday. as you just had the follow-up.
And I believe you might remember Mr. Johnson had arranged a place for us to keep Euphoria for the 3 days.
He had. It was at the Royal Meadows Apartments and high-rise building with a flat. All paid for by the Johnson.
Yeah. Well, I would suspect that it's probably worthwhile before we try and kidnap Euphoria to find out exactly where we're holding him for the next few days after that.
Yeah, we
We also probably want to do some
we have to zhuzh it up.
bit of a stakeout or understanding of exactly where she's being held, when the advertising, whatever, like the function, whatever it is that we're keeping you from, exactly when that's happening, and confirm that her plans. I believe Johnson thought that she'd be staying put in her apartment until going off to the photo shoot or whatever. But we want to see if we can get any confirmation of that, and also potentially look at exactly how she's getting from her apartment to the site, because maybe it'll be easier to catch her on the than like on the security at the apartment building if it's a high security apartment place. So I don't know whether or not we need to necessarily divide up those tasks particularly. At least not yet, because we've still got a few days. So
Well, we need
I'd
to
be
make
looking.
the flat. So when we check out the flat, we need to make it look like somewhere where Euphoria would actually stay. And as you said, we need to stake out the penthouse and figure out how we're going to get in and how we're going to get her, or whether we lure her out and then get her while she's on the move. And we also have to decide on a story we're going to sell her as to why she needs to come with us and stay with us, or whether or not we're just going to trank her and leave her passed out for 3 days and then just, she had a really good time.
That's probably the easiest. But
It would be. They were the things we were discussing last session as to possible things to follow up on. I think the task of zhuzhing up the flat was going to go to Tarlin and maybe someone else.
And by the way, Desrin's bank account increases by 500 credits, and Tarlin's bank account increases by 300.
Why are you rubbing that in?
Because every session they get money.
Still, rubbing it in.
I'm thinking that the easiest thing to do first up on Tuesday morning will be at least investigating the location where we're supposed to keep her, because I'm pretty certain Johnson said that the place had already been booked out and was being held over for a period of time, not just for the 3-day weekend or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's basically a safe house that Johnson has.
Yeah.
And then, does that mean that we should also... Oh yeah, sorry, Jeremy.
That's on.
Or should, well then, at that same time, we should probably do some decorating and make it look like a place you would actually stay.
Means you have to spend money as well.
Well, I mean, the name of the place was, but it's pretty nice. Maybe it'll be all good.
Martin,
Yep.
with
Isn't she like a pop star?
empowerment,
Oh.
with the heal, is it actually knowing the magic rating? Well, I'm trying to work out what the advantage would be other than flipping a story point.
It will also...
Does it actually, with the augmentation, does it actually give you? Does it class as a 6th level for the heal option?
Sorry, I probably have to go through that in more detail outside of the game.
Yeah.
Because it will probably take me 5-10 minutes to explain right now.
Okay.
So, that was the question you spell?
Yes, trying to get the spell right.
Yeah.
Because other people have just asked something at the same time.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
Okay.
Well, as long
Sorry.
as we don't get into combat, it's fine.
So what was the question that someone had asked that I completely blanked?
Elle was asking.
Oh no, I was.
Making a
Nah.
All
It's,
good.
But
yeah, I was just making a
Let-
comment.
check out the place and we'll find out how much looting up it really needs.
Okay, so it's not very far from the dead
And
shop
at least we
building.
can also head. Oh, it's not far from the next shop. Okay, that's a bad start.
Because it is in
Red.
Red. It was already in Redmond Barrens. You knew that already. That's why you were considering. You did know that. It's an 18-story tall building, so nowhere near as tall. About maybe half to a third the height of the dead shop building.
Mhm.
And it's steel framework and concrete, cinder block, polished up with plastic windows, rusted iron sculptures, and at least 3 decades of pollution and grime. A steady stream of wage slaves and street people pour in and out of the main doors. You think the building could easily pass for one of the Barrens slum tenements?
Mm. Okay. And unfortunately, big call for some place in the Redmond Barrens. If you get some tenement in the Barrens, that's a problem. Now, what do we know about the facility that we're going into? We've been given a key card or something, have we, to like that test, or?
Given a key card.
You did, for apartment 812. The lobby area is everything you expected and less. A wide hallway leads to a nexus of elevators. Moving down the hall, you see a sign reading manager over a window set in the wall. Behind the heavy plastic window, you see a dwarf reading the morning facts. Security announcements to... security amounts to 1 orc fast asleep at his station down by the elevators. Knowing Redmond, it's up to you whether you want to trust the elevators or take the stairs.
Stairs.
Edward's happy to, he's quite fit for these constant going up and down the stairs in the dead shop building. He's not going to trust me here, so.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah,
normally
so
it's
definitely go upstairs.
Okay, so going up 8 flights, you find room 12 on the floor, and it recognizes your keycard. The lock buzzes noisily, and you hear the bolt slide. As the door opens, you expect the worst and you're right. Whatever corp runs this place sure knows how to cut corners. The 3-room flat has a living area, a bedroom, and a bathroom. The bathroom is the size of a coffin, and you doubt whether the water filters have ever been changed. The bedroom has 2 doubles pushed so close that they look like one big mattress. The living room boasts out-of-date furniture made from low-grade plastic. Just off the living room is a closet-sized kitchen with a couple of cupboards, a microwave, a sink, and a refrigerator. The air in the room is stale and thick. The insects in residence seem to eye you speculatively as they trying to decide whether to fight you for their turf. They don't yet.
Okay, well,
I think
Jessica's going to have a look around.
looking to get the
Right.
place cleaned up.
Confirm the apparent lack of facilities and any potential security type issues. Just looking around to see whether or not there's any evidence of something that might have been installed by Mr. Johnson if he's using this with a safe house type place. Any extra cameras or security feeds or anything like that.
Looking at it, it appears
Also,
it appears to have a No matrix connection or comms connections here. Your phones seem to be in a dead zone. You think that's part of the reason for it?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what was that bit that you just said?
Your comm links don't work, so you can't actually call anyone.
Did they work
We had
downstairs?
it pros and cons as far as being a safe house.
So at what point did they last work?
Before you entered the building, apparently the building's pretty big dead zone.
Okay. Is there such a thing as those like USB local Wi-Fi things, like where you can set up your own hotspot type deal with your?
You could, but you've got nothing to connect it into. You could set up your own closed circuit cameras to watch things, but
No, I mean in terms of, you know how you can get like a satellite phone and it can make calls even though things aren't there.
you could set something like that up and point it at the dead shop building.
Yeah.
You can actually see the dead shop building from the window.
Is there some way to set up a way that we can make calls?
It would
and
probably
things
be
from there?
maybe about 10k from the dead shop building.
What kind of money, knowledge would it take to do that? Because I imagine for the 3 days that
Well,
we're here,
probably actually less than a k actually.
we might need to make phone calls.
You'd need to have someone with the technical knowledge and potentially the kit already.
Okay. Would that be Circle or Hollow?
It would probably be hollow.
Okay. So.
SoCal could probably do it too, but he's a little bit unavailable.
Yeah, no, I'm just putting it on my list of things that we might want to do in terms of setting up this place. A, get it cleaned. B, set up some sort of temporary capacity to make phone calls, because if we need help in a hurry and we can't call or text out of this spot, then that's going to be a problem.
The benefit you also have is if Euphoria has any hidden communications, she's not going to be able to summon help.
Well, that's why I was thinking like a specific phone type setup where it's just the people who have it set up, say, on their hands.
It would probably be safer to just take the step outside or quick doors over the dead shop building rather than necessarily risking putting a wireless connection that may be hacked.
I was thinking more along the lines of a satellite phone type deal, where it's a singular sort of phone rather than a Wi-Fi open to everyone.
Yeah. It's one of the things, obviously, Desmond and most of the party, except for some of the other PCs that aren't with us right now, aren't necessarily particularly techno-savvy. So it may be better to not risk anything if we can avoid it. So.
And the good thing about this place is that it does not appear to be any security checks.
All I'm thinking of is a means of communication in an emergency, as in, say, maybe getting one phone that's capable of like a satellite phone type thing that just one of us has, so that if we're stuck in that room and we need extra help, someone can make a physical phone call out and get that help.
So it doesn't look like there's actually going to be room for everybody to stay in here.
No,
Hey?
probably not. That's
So-
why you could stay with the one person.
But, have someone sitting by a window and get another apartment across the street and
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You know, we need to figure out something.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a satellite phone, but it'd be good to have a plan.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Yep. While Declan's doing the internal search of the bits and pieces, he's also obviously doing a bit of a knocking and tapping and listening on the other the walls and things. How thin the walls are, and B, are there neighbours in the neighbouring apartments and things like that.
Okay, and I believe Tylen was saying something. Hey, El, you were trying to say something?
Say that the Deadshot building is 1 kilometre away.
About that, yeah.
And you can't by any chance see the window of the apartment there, can you?
You could set up a camera to watch it, yes.
So if I was standing at the window of this grungy apartment with the aggressive insects, and I was to shine a torch out of that window, would someone in the Deadshot apartment be able to see that light?
They should be able to see that, yes.
Perfect. So if we all can't fit in that apartment anyway, then some of us might have to stay behind. If one person is in that there to receive a message, that basically solves all of these crazy little techie communication issues.
I was going to say, why do you assume that we can't all fit in that apartment? Considering I know people who have had 5 people to a bed sit. So I think this was a 2-bedroom apartment.
1-bedroom apartment with a lounge kitchenette.
You
So
stick your forehead in it. I'm joking.
the big issue is fitting in the trolls.
I was joking.
And there was also the aspect of what you're right. We would fit, but the killer told them.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So, did we actually want to keep this room or not?
Look, I think we keep the room, but whether or not we actually put her up here, I'm actually considering whether or not we take our money, because it's 5 grand credits a month for a medium nice place, medium living sort of standard quality somewhere. If we just want to rent a hotel room that's of decent quality for 3 or 4 days, there's no reason why we couldn't put her there instead.
The other advantage of this place, though, is it seems to have the sort of security that we want when we're trying to hold someone hostage, particularly a high-value, high visibly recognisable person, i.e. nil.
True.
And secondly, it doesn't require any identification on our part to actually use.
It's not connected to you in any way.
So whilst I agree, it has
then
some
what
problems
about-
from the fact that... Go on.
I don't know. I maybe I'm forgetting if there was some condition that we had to keep her comfortable. Because what if we we're gonna go out there on a limb? What if we literally captured her today, or we made arrangements to capture her tomorrow, and said, oh look, they're doing this great. Wait, just remind me, she's a really super famous pop star, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
She's kind
But
of
what
famous.
if we lure her? What if I use all of my charm possible and we put on this big show to convince her that there is some kind of sleep event and she's going to get the most coverage ever if she does what is the equivalent to say one of those CEO sleep out things. It's you're going to be in this apartment and it's sort of grungy, cool. Once she's in there, it doesn't matter how many aggressive insects are flying at her face. She's in there. She ain't leaving. All we have to do is get her there. Why does it matter if she has to use a coffin toilet?
Well, part of it is there's a very, and I'm not saying that we can't still go the way that you're saying we should go, but he emphasised no harm to her whatsoever. So we kind of want to make sure she wants to stay. So if you do sell her on the idea that it's, say, a reality show, charity thing, lots of exposure, we're still going to have to put money in there to convince her that's the idea, that it's, we have to sell her, because at some point, if she's not sold, she's going to try to leave. And resistance means potential for harm to her.
The other
And
thing,
one bruise equals no job.
the other thing you also have to keep
We
in
define
mind
harm as
that
we define harm as putting her to sleep.
the main thing you
If
have
she
to
shows-
be aware of is that if you try to convince her to come verbally, she may want to bring her entourage with her. and you would have no real way of saying no to that because people like this travel with a bunch of people.
Or at least humanity.
Yeah, but that's
I still think
it's not the purpose of the CEO to sleep at.
I think if we're going to sell her on any idea, it would be that we're all a bunch of like super spies. She's in the middle of like a spy story. Everyone's out to kill her. She can't trust or speak to anyone until we give her the idea that it's safe, and convince her that it's for her safety and her protection to come alone. Or you just spring your extra XP of charm on her and she just walks right in with you.
Somehow I feel like it's not going to work.
Well, I mean, the other factor, of course, is... Go on.
No, yeah, I was just commenting, yeah.
Well, Desmond's going to say the fact that, well, yeah, obviously, yeah. She's got to be returned unharmed.
That's right.
Yeah, but Bruce
I'm sure Walt could fix up if there's any minor breaks or scratches or bumps that you might get in the meantime.
We could heal
Could
that
I?
magic, but you've got to be guaranteed.
Don't deliberately harm her, but hey, if there's a bit of rough and tumble during the extraction process, that's it. Returned unharmed.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried
Well,
about
sleeping
those
people
two
don't fight back.
and their version of unharmed, but
I don't believe anyone has a survival skill.
what is the survival?
Doesn't Bolt have survival?
I could look.
Oh no, survival. Yeah, Bolt is the only person with survival.
Alright,
I was gonna say, out of the entire party, Bolt should have survival.
You'd like to think so.
You'd like to think so, yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I've got 5 points. I can put that into survival.
Yes, but you haven't. It's too late at this stage.
I wasn't going to anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's why I was contemplating actually versing that Baron guy in that survival challenge. It's like, yeah, Bolt's on that.
Okay, so looks like Bolt's the one who could actually tell you what's not working in the apartment. Everyone else would have to make a roll.
And it's obviously, yeah, I'm happy that Bolt could do the big pieces or look around, but do we find if there's is there any evidence of neighbours on the apartment, or in the neighbouring apartments and stuff like that?
It does sound as if there are people using the other rooms, but it doesn't look like they're using it for much during the day.
Okay.
And you can hear murmuring from their TV sets of those who are there.
All right.
So as Bolt does a once over, because Bolt is the experienced person, Bolt does find a bunch of dehydrated food that looks surprisingly expensive. So basically would feed a group of people for about a week. There is fresh clothing in here, all still wrapped up in plastic, that seem to be of a size for Euphoria. And one of the chairs, if you sit on it, will snap. The freezer does not work in the refrigerator, and the sink's water filters need to be replaced, as does the main air filter for the room.
So, I guess I'm happy to put myself towards the task of cleaning up, changing filters, that kind of thing.
And also the hot water doesn't work either.
I will maybe go downstairs and see if do we have any like plumbing contacts and stuff like the hot water fix?
You'd most likely have to get the building to fix the hot water, but
There was
that
the
would be memorable.
manager sitting on the lobby floor that we can go and talk to and go, hey,
I might put
we're moving into room 812. Need some repairs. Can we look at for a while?
I put Talon and Desrin onto doing the managing stuff, and I'll do the physical cleaning.
From the purpose of what you're trying to do, you probably don't want the manager to see your faces. Because you're trying to get a celebrity into a room in the middle of nowhere.
That'll be Talon and Desrin's problem.
Okay.
if they're happy to take it, I was gonna get myself some water filters and some rubber gloves and a bucket and a whole lot of pest
I've got that stuff.
repellent and so on.
Because
I'm
remember I was
sure some
cleaning
money
it
will buy forgetfulness.
multiple times when we had to do heists.
No, I don't remember, so it's a good reminder. So I will see if Womp and whoever else is happy to do some manual physical labour will start just cleaning up the place so that she doesn't scream and run 2 seconds after she steps into it.
Pity Holy Flame won't work very well here.
Yeah. Look, I'm not suggesting that we do, $30 clean on it, but at least sort of tidy it up to make it inhabitable. Right now, I don't want to be in this room.
Well, you don't expect it to be a voluntary come. Yeah.
So
How secure is the windows?
is that
The windows could easily be kicked out.
Okay, so we also need to spice up the security in here.
So is that something that we can do in terms of cleaning up the place? We just physically put in a couple of hours ourselves to do that.
You could put a couple of hours cleaning up the place fairly easily, yes.
Yeah. And that way it's less noticeable, I guess, in terms of revealing who we are and what we're doing. They'll know someone's going in and out of the apartment.
And you'd expect Euphoria to have a team of at least 10 people that follow her around everywhere.
Yeah, I think we're going to try and separate her from that.
She will not. You don't expect her to voluntarily separate, ever.
Yeah, so we expect to separate her from that. I didn't say voluntarily. We can't fit 10 people in there, and we don't want to fit 10 people in there. We just want one other person.
Yeah.
When I'm going downstairs, can I make a call to our friend Sophie?
Once you're out of the building, yes.
Yes. To ask about, because we need to start getting surveillance on the penthouse and movements. And I think if the rest of the group are okay, she's done that surveillance for us before for the horrible humanist people. And she did a pretty good job with that, so it's probably the quickest, easiest way to get surveillance up and running without us having to try and set it all up ourselves. We can do like added sort of on the spot surveillance, but this will get us some info, video footage straight away.
Hey, certainly, yeah. If Shadow's got the contact to arrange for that sort of thing, and that would certainly be advantageous.
So I'll make a call to Sophie when that's okay.
Okay. So what was that, Jeremy? What you were going to ask?
I was going to say that I'm thinking that Talon and Desrin might have a talk to the manager downstairs and see what. Remind them that there might be a maintenance to catch up on a bit in the apartment.
I was going to say Talon might do a really nice sort of makeup job so she doesn't look the way she looks, so that she's not as easily, her face isn't as memorable. And I'm presuming Desmond just wears a hood.
With sunglasses.
He's also worked on the idea that it's probably the type of place that money buys forgetfulness.
Well, that's the other thing. All you got to do is to have your eyes
So
right.
while they're doing that, I'm going back and getting my cleaning service. Basically, it says cleaning service. That's the
Okay, so while the four of you are doing stuff, what is Bolt and Flogger doing?
So where's Bolt doing like a run around the block or the area or the building? Get a better idea of like.
You have delivered here multiple times.
I have? Okay, so I know the layout a bit. Okay, that's good.
This is one of those places that you pity dropping things off because only desperate people stay here.
This one's desperate.
Or kidnapped with rock stars.
Yeah, okay.
Basically, this is not a place that people have a lot of money.
No. Which is probably why I deliver for Trixie here. I meant, I guess if I know the layout, I was thinking of whether I know, like, good exit points or little alleyways, but I suppose if I've delivered around here, then I should know the area pretty well.
You do know quite a few shortcuts to get out, as well as the fact that you can access the underground from here as well.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
that'd be
That's
handy, because
cool.
we need a way to
Yeah.
get her up without a whole lot of people seeing us.
Underground. Does that mean the sewers with the rats of an enormous size?
Yeah. I'm sure they don't exist.
Of course, Bolt would know that
I've
because
I've got the burgers that show that they exist.
That's right. General Rats make perfectly tasty burgers, apparently.
how else do you think Bolt gets his lunch? He does delivery, hunts, and then sells the rats to the vendors.
And there is a thriving community under the street as well as above the street.
Later I'll probably investigate that, but at the moment I'm helping Wolf get his cleaning gear.
Okay, so what is Flogger doing while Bolt and everyone else is busy?
That is a good question. Has anyone kept an
help
eye on
any of
Flogger?
us.
No one has kept an eye on Flogger at this stage.
I
Perfect.
always invite Flogger to accompany us, but it's up to Flogger if he wants to do that.
I mean, Flogger will be with Shadow.
Because I'm happy to have trolls helping me clean.
Well, I mean, the one comment in the description about the fact that one of the chairs was used, I think that applies to all the furniture if you talk about the troll using it.
Yeah, we need to change out the furniture, so
Nothing is troll safe.
I might get Flogger and Want to help me carry out the old furniture so that
Can we open the window?
You can open the window.
we are not throwing the furniture out the window on unsuspecting poor people who
No,
already
it's
have enough challenges
No,
surviving.
it's easy. You open the window, look out below,
No.
and then wait for them to move, then throw the stuff out.
Yeah, only if they move.
You are 8 floors
And
up.
then
there's a
and
good
then
chance
and
they
then
won't
Flogger
hear you.
throws Shadow out the window.
Why would you throw me out the window?
Well, I don't
Isn't this the game? Flogger's got to throw at least every party member at some point or another in the campaign.
No.
Flogger's obviously playing a different game to everyone else.
I know, right?
I think the only character that Flogger is allowed to throw is Bolt.
I also like the mass panic no from everyone. That was brilliant.
Not panic,
My microphone was off, but I was a hard yes for that high-spirited activity.
What, throwing stuff out of the window or
Very
being thrown
much
by
confused.
Flogger?
I don't doubt that if you really wanted to grab me and throw
Just
me out the window, you
Listen,
possibly
just
could.
ask Bowles. It was a joyful time.
But I
Yeah,
would
but-
definitely do my darndest at stealthing and dodging you first.
Yeah, but it was at a tank, not out the window.
Well, you
No, it
guys
was
would have
actually-
had
it was
having
actually-
fun, man.
It was actually into a group of bikers, but you
Oh,
know.
that too. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Well, I don't want to be thrown out of a window at any point because I value my bones.
Okay. I didn't know that we were on the 8th floor.
You were on the 8th floor, yes. That's why it's 812 as the key card. You're the 12th room on the 8th floor.
But I
Well,
think
at least it was not the 13th room.
my question is why does Flogger want to throw all the party members?
Because he's trying to flog everyone, I'm sure.
No. That's not a question that should be asked because it's not a topic that will ever come up.
Maybe he just starts throwing pieces of furniture as directed and then just, without looking, just keeps grabbing things and because the place is so small.
Oh, no one's directing Flogger to throw anything. Jeez. That one's for Ross. And that one's
Okay, so as Shadow was going to call Sophie as soon as she got out, she will do that before you get to the manager. So,
Yep. Sophie call. Sorry. I'm also doing my finances at the same time. That's my slightly distracted thing, making sure I've got all the money that we've earned and then minusing all the money we've spent. I think I've dropped off a couple. Alright, so...
you get Sophie. Sophie picks up straight away. Hey ho, she says.
How you doing?
Doing well.
Any exciting adventures that you're able to tell me about that you've had recently?
Currently on the beach watching the Mankini trend.
Oh, I feel so sorry for you.
Oh no, she's getting plenty of photos to use later.
Fair enough. I guess it generates an income of sorts.
Well, once they're suddenly embarrassed by the Mankini trend, then she'll make money. Invest in the future.
Sounds like I should probably be laying in some investments with you. We really have to catch up for coffee and talk about that.
You doing anything later today after the sun sets? Till then, she's sort of busy getting as much footage as she can.
Yeah, it might actually, it might be good to actually catch up with you in person, if that's okay.
Plus, she's also hired a investigative journalist to ask people questions about the trends, so she's actually getting their voice and their names for prosperity.
You are diabolical in all the best ways.
Well, the journalist just thinks it's funny, and she's going to make her own puff piece about it all.
I am going to make a mental note not to watch the news. I'll listen to it, but I'm not going to be watching it for the next little bit. Yeah, I've already had the unique experience of trolls in Mankinis. I'm good not to extend that experience.
It's not unique anymore, she says.
Sorry, what was that?
It's not unique anymore.
It was unique to me at the time.
Well, she also points out that they're now calling it an elf kini because they've got a picture of an elf on the mankini, but the mankini's just in one spot, so it's quite interesting that there's this hot-looking elf on people's crotches.
Okay.
But don't they have pictures of Tyler?
Again, fashion absolutely escapes me.
She sends you a picture of the mankini not on someone.
Just a mankini.
Just the mankini before it's stretched.
With Tarlin's
Yeah.
face on it.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna file this in my folder of things to keep an eye on for when it eventually bites Tarlin. somewhere where it's not too comfortable for her to experience that thing.
And the comments are, you don't want to see it stretched.
No, I there's no disagreement here. Outside of that, I presume you're having a good holiday?
Yeah, it is quite amusing, especially with this strange mankini. Apparently, whoever made it, it becomes transparent when wet.
I have a troll who might actually want one of those.
Done. She's making a killing selling half of them.
How much do they cost?
Oh, they cost her about 5 credits each, and she's selling them for 50 at the beach.
And you post me one? I plan to give it as a present to a friend of mine, troll size horse.
It's one size fits all.
Yeah, well, that'll work for him. As long as it's a stretch over a troll, I think he'll be happy.
It will just be extremely tight. Which is the whole point of it, she says.
I don't think he's going to have a problem with that, considering he currently already does wear a mankini. I just think that this will be something different for him.
Listen, even in the sun when they sweat, it becomes clear as well.
I'll transfer her 50 credits plus postage.
She's happy to drop it off herself after the sun goes down.
I'll pick it up then, and I'll find gift wrap in a supper shack on the way there. There's nothing like giving a troll a wrapped present to open.
So besides the mankini interest, what else are you up for?
I wanted to see if you're up to doing some surveillance for me. I need it quick and fast, which I know will cost, but I'm willing to...
We can talk about that tonight, just that way whatever you want me to surveil isn't out on the nets.
No, I didn't want to go into details over the phone. In fact, if I can reword it so that I don't directly say I want some surveillance, but,
Got a job for you.
Code for what she understands for is, if you're interested in watching mankinis, I definitely have a new trend for you to watch type thing. I'm just not good on the talky talk right now because of the burny burn in my sidey side. And now I'm repeating my words. Jeez, I must be quiet.
Okay, sir.
So I set up a time and a place for Sophie.
Yep, she's arranged a time for you at a coffee shop.
Yep, cool.
And while that's happening, we will move over to Tarlin and Desrin, going to the building manager.
We've got a better understanding exactly what the building is and the quality of the maintenance and things like that. It's potentially worth Tarlin and Declan having a quick trip back to the tech shop building and just changing into suitably nondescript or very descript clothing. But therefore, the idea of actually is not where you're really working normally, and get changed into something. So in Declan's case, he'll go for just like that. Grungy, generic, like a flat pack clothing type bits and pieces.
Hanging
hoodie.
Hanging off the back of his cupboard as he opens it is a mankini with Tarlin's face on it.
That's not what he's looking for.
Why don't you like us?
It's Tarlin might go with something on the sense of the hiding in overly plain sight, rather than Declan going for definitely hiding in like plain sight. But then we'll make sure you go to see the go back and see the manager, or at least go and see where the place where the manager had a sign or something.
Okay, so you do see the dwarf sitting behind reading the latest wanted postings. Apparently, he gets all the latest scram sheets that get sent out saying who's currently wanted for whatever crime.
Is that what a scram sheet is?
It's basically got their details, what they've done, people who are missing.
Wouldn't that take up his entire day?
Well, he can earn himself a massive bonus by turning in one person. Probably his yearly bonus.
He apparently spends his day doing maintenance on the building.
So, just remind me, is Tarlin still wanted at this?
Tarlin and Desrin are both wanted at this stage.
Okay, and he's got our photos there, obviously. Like, he has access to them with his collection.
Let's see if you can remember that.
He does have a whole pile of stuff. He's got quite a few filing cabinets, so he's probably been keeping off the net records of all the people.
Okay. What is Tarlin's wanted picture? Like, is it like, am I wearing a particular like outstanding outfit or a color photo?
You're not actually seeing it, and currently it's not stuck up on a wall. But I'm sure he has a elf folio he goes through when he actually interacts with elves.
Alright, well, Tarlin's gonna wear like a different coloured wig and an ever so slight moustache with a giant mole on her face with hair coming out of it and a little buck tooth implant, and she's gonna walk with bow legs with a limp. And she's gonna talk like this. Make herself as unappealing as possible.
Isn't that going to be
like hunched and
the reverse of what you wanted to do? You wanted to charm the crap out of you?
No. Oh. I can still charm though. I could just be like a lovable freak, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have to be hot to charm.
You don't have to be hot to charm, no.
I'm like, hey there, study boy, help me out. I'm an old lady.
I hate if that actually adds blue dice on it because that's his kink.
Okay, yes. So tapping on his window, he ignores you for quite some time as he's reading.
Olin is officially has oil coming out of her mouth and snot coming out of her nose. That's just a little side comment.
You do know what will get his attention.
Declan, after tapping a couple times and not getting attention, Declan will again tap on the window, this time with the cred stick.
Yeah.
Okay, he seems to look up as soon as you tap on there with a cred stick. Apparently just...
Getting through deaf people and good hearing alike.
He smooths down his rumpled suit and comes up to the window. You can see he has his face seems to be pockmarked by diseases and looks to be about 30 to 40. And he says, okay, so you tall, thin things, what do you want? He says.
Yeah. We'll hold up the key tag for 812 and explain that it appears that our apartment needs a bit of maintenance work done on it.
Says he'll get round to it. It's just, with so many rooms to service and only one set of aged legs that have arthritis, and he starts going off onto this tangent of woe is me, I have to maintain this all by myself and no one's willing to help.
Recognising that he's going to enjoy his providing detailed stuff to him. Jack will allow it to continue for a while before holding up the credit to the air. I understand that it's difficult to necessarily get round the whole building all at once, but it might get bumped up the list a little bit.
He's sure he can work something out depending on how far you want to be bumped up.
I think at this point, Talon needs to work a little charm. Maybe she stands back and shows him her bow legs, which are literally just her bending with her knees outwards a little bit, and goes, "Oh my gosh, I totally understand what I totally understand what you mean. I also have a hard time getting around. But surely you, a young, handsome man like yourself, could possibly help out a haggard old wretch like me and my son, or whatever Desiree is to me."
He just pulls out a set of glasses, puts them on, and stares at you again, and going, "Hey, have I seen your face somewhere before?"
Look, I've had it pretty rough, and I've been around the streets a lot, just begging with my bow legs. Perhaps you've had mercy on me in the past and shown me some charity.
If that's what you call throwing someone some charity, sure, he says, with a wink and that sort of sleazy sort of look.
Oh, so he's into the holes and the bow-legged and the buck-teeth. Excellent.
So Desiree is now being elevated to keep.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how Desmond will feel about that.
Keep my elf.
And I'm sure that I get a fan like yourself, who's obviously been in the past to have helped the elderly and the needy here. You'd be more than willing to help out again, and certainly provide some recompense towards doing so. But if it appears and Deborah will talk off some of the specific maintenance on the building that needs to be done, like the filters and cleaning and tidying into pieces.
And how much is he willing to throw to the manager to bump you up the list?
Well, I was going to say, if we try a charm check with greased palms with an extra 500 credits on it, so that's an extra 2 upgrades automatically. It's part of those bribes.
So is Talon doing the charm, or is Desrin doing the charm?
Talon. Sorry.
Talon.
Because it is 4 yellow dice, 2 green dice, and 2 blue dice. And you can re-roll any dice from the check.
We're all black, are we?
No.
Like just her amazing talent.
Just reading to see if there's anything else she can take. She can take some strain to reduce the check as well. And triumphs give her extra successes.
Yeah, well, okay. Talon will do the charm. Desmond will do the deception to help, lie off any of the concerns about where he may have seen faces before. So.
Does Talon wish to take the strain to reduce the difficulty of the check?
It'd be silly of me to say no and to risk it. Someone advise me. Like, is it that important? Like, should I save it for something that's like more necessary than just simply getting a waterfall decay?
You've got a certain amount of strain, so you might have 10 strain.
The point,
You're only using
okay.
one of those 10.
You got 14
Yeah, and-
available to you, and they can be refreshed at the end of a scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You're likely that we're not going to be doing anything immediately. We're not expected to do anything immediately. That means you're not going to recover from the crick in the neck and the slight bow leg you've developed.
All right, yeah, bump it up or whatever you call it.
Okay, so the difficulty was going to be 2, so you reduce it to 0, which means all your dice are actually going to help you.
Well, as long as they're not all blank. Only 2 of them are.
So that is quite a
6
charm.
successes.
So with your 100 credits and your charm, he is quite happy to put you to the top of the list and get to work on that straight away. You get back to the crime sheets afterwards.
Well, okay. Dex will be doing the deception check to ensure that he's not thinking that he might have seen the faces somewhere before.
You can. What is your deception?
2 yellow, 1 green, 3 blue, and they get the 2 upgrades for the Greaser Palms.
Okay, so 2 upgrades will add another yellow dice. It's a little harder for him to ignore that. Would you like to upgrade one of your dice with a story point?
Yeah, might as well, because we don't really want to be facing any treatment now.
Okay, so your blue dice cancelled out all the purple dice.
Probably good.
And you got 3 successes and 4 advantages. So look, he is thinking.
The disguises were enough that he obviously didn't think he thought he might have, and realised that all elves looked the same.
Well, he is now more interested in the bow-legged, wart, mustached elf who looks familiar and seems to be trying to figure out where he knows them from as he's getting his cleaning supplies.
My intent for the deception check was actually basically covering both of us, like in the sense that she was covering the car, I was doing the deception for both of us. So.
From that perspective, Jeremy, he's focusing on the attributes that don't actually exist on Talon.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay.
Which means there's no way he can trace it back to Talon if that's what he's looking for.
I'm good at you before
Yeah.
the air conditioner makes it really cold.
Yeah, it just got into 27 around the table, so I need to cool it down.
Oh no, I'm not worried about that. Hold on a second.
Okay.
So hopefully the so when you said it's going to come top of the list, we're talking in the next 24, 48 hours.
Well, he seems to be putting his sheets down and getting his repair kit.
Marvelous.
And he just confirms the room and the name of John Smith.
That's who I am.
You get a quick glance noticing that nearly every person is John Smith in the building.
Yes. And now the bow-legged old lady can take her John somewhere else.
Yep.
Hello, John. My name's Flora.
Would it be funny if we put Flogger in the same outfit and brought him along? May not have been successful, but
Okay, so you've shown up at Womp's place. Womp's place is fairly similar in condition.
Do we have to come here and do a cleaning job on your place, what?
Well, it's clean. It's just the outside part.
Oh, okay, so the inside is not in the same condition?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it's much worse.
What are you saying?
You do notice your next door neighbour's doors being kicked open.
Not hollows.
No, you have no idea whose room it is.
But is it?
Hopefully she talked about that. I can't remember if she was a he or a she.
Technically a she, but nondescript, as in you couldn't really tell.
Oh.
But used the pronouns she, her, I believe.
Oh, quick look to see if they're being ransacked. Or even still, there's nothing in them.
I was going to say, yeah, if it's been ransacked or if there's still something worth left ransacking.
I'll ask.
The freezer's open, as is the fridge. The mouldy food has been left.
I'll ask Womp, do you
Pile
know,
of dishes still in the sink.
do you know who lived here? Considering that's his next door neighbour.
Yeah. Well, I'm just wondering if she actually cleared out the place first before they cleared it out for her.
Well, do you have a contract for them?
Yeah, she's currently living in Desmond's building.
She is. Do we also know them?
Oh,
Oh, it's Hollow. Oh. I'll actually walk into the apartment.
Yeah, looks like whatever was left here has been broken, or all the doors are open, all the drawers are open. What's left of the mattress is sliced open.
I'll send a text to Hollow with a sad face saying, it looks like your place has been vacated for you. Do you have any hidey holes you need me to clear while I'm here?
I'm sure she would have already got all that crap.
She might not know. She's been mesmerised in front of SoCal screens for the last month or so.
I'll send back a message saying, what do you mean? Just like I left it.
No. Hello probably sends back a message going, oh yeah, don't worry. I had a friend come in and fix my place while I'm away.
Fix it, huh? I sent a couple of photos.
Hopefully you
Yeah.
didn't pay it.
Yeah.
No. That's exactly what she wanted her place to look like trash. Because it was neat and tidy and had lots of computer and tech there before. But obviously that's all been moved. So
Well, hopefully.
while she wants to keep the place as a safeguard, I guess, in case this stuff with Desmond and you guys doesn't work out, but it seems to be working out for her so
Find a
far.
job with Desmond?
No, I'd say in case that goes south, but so far it seems to be going really well for her.
I would try and say you might want to get the door secured though, so that someone else doesn't move in on you. Unless you don't care if someone moves in on you.
Really?
Well, in Shadow's experience, it's really hard to have a backup safe house if it's not secure.
I
And
mean,
admittedly, if the
you can
door's
lock the
left
door.
open and the place obviously trashed, no one's going to be taking it any further.
Yeah,
It's potentially
but
the thought
someone who
process.
doesn't have a place might go, free apartment. Like, there's this thing called squatters. They can be really hard to move out.
Nah,
That's how
Easy.
Hollow got the place in the first place.
9mm could land or move anyone.
I would argue if the squatters, something like Flogger, 9mm of lead ain't doing nothing.
Maybe I can't actually summon a ghost and leave it in there.
That put aside, I'll help Womp get his cleaning gear and get Flogger to help do some of the heavy lifting as well. And I'll tell Flogger, I've got a surprise coming for you later tonight.
So, is Flogger still wearing that bloody orange thing?
Josh, what is Flogger wearing?
Hmm? Oh, wait, what do people say?
What is Flogger wearing?
No, I heard that bit, but what did Talon say?
Oh, I just laughed because I was just thinking of the Mankini.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it's not the orange thing.
No, he's got a lime green one now. Just like the picture.
I'm sure he's got one in all colours.
Listen, you don't discriminate against colours here. Flogger's got a rainbow.
Okay.
It really does change the term "taste the rainbow."
Yes. Flogger is wearing his street attire, which is not the mankini. That's his dance attire. Thank you. So he's wearing slacks and his vest and everything else. Actually, looking menacing for once.
What do you mean for once? You always look menacing.
He's got charm when he wants to dance and eat ice cream and not flog people.
And sorry, when does the last part of that apply?
I haven't been to that question.
I presume there's occasions where Flogger doesn't feel like beating the crap out of people.
Well,
I'm sure,
does
as a
Flogger...
distinction, he's always willing to flog people if required, but he doesn't always feel like flogging people all the time.
I'm going to regret this, but does Flogger want his uniform back again?
Which uniform is that?
Cleaning uniform.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Because we're going to be doing some cleaning.
It'll protect your clothes.
It's just
Don't worry, I'll clean the doors.
It's just some overalls.
I'll clean the doors.
Yeah, we'll need the doors cleaned.
Okay.
By the way, I'm going to call everything that I possibly can
A door?
a door. And I'm going to draw doorknobs on them if I have to. Because I'm going to be vacuuming and scrubbing out bathrooms. I'm going to need someone to help with the other bits.
Yes, but the problem is if you tell Flogger that it's a door, then it might end up cleaned elsewhere.
It might. That's true. But I also feel that I need to give Flogger value for money since he's willing to help us get through this hard work. I should give him some form of satisfaction and entertainment. So I might define them as non-collectible doors, and hopefully that works.
Mainly because mages aren't being employed cleaning.
Well, sterilisation. Well, the only sterilisation spell I've got is bit too overkill.
We're already on to cleaning up the place and getting it functioning. We might have to get some furnishings. Because I'm pretty sure, did you say most of the furniture is harmful to use?
Only for trolls. There is one broken chair and the other chair would, let me see, how many chairs are there? So there are 2 small chairs, a bed.
I think we might have to at the very least replace the bed because you said the mattress was like infested.
I never said the mattress was infested.
You didn't?
No, the room's infested.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was saying. I don't actually have anyone get. I don't really have an area fixed spell.
I think we should at least pick up clean sheets and coverings.
Well, that's where you go to the stuffer shack.
It was also, was that part of amongst the stuff that apparently been left with the extra new clothes and bits and pieces?
Well, Bolt was the one who went through all that. You could always ask Bolt.
When we get back, I'll ask Bolt, because obviously it's going to be hard to ask Bolt from Wonk's house.
Again, it won't take long to pick up some stuff like that if we realise, oh, hang on, we forgot that, or Bolt forgot to mention it.
Okay, so
and we've only got a few days yet before we need it, so...
You catch up outside the front of the Royal Meadows apartments, having just gotten back with Flogger and Womp, and Bolt's been doing the run round the block. And Desrin and Tarlin have just finished getting the manager to agree to do a spruce and a fix of the apartment.
Yep, we'll let them know before they go up the fact that, the manager's going up there and doing cleaning and updates on the bits and pieces.
Well, the less cleaning we have to do, the better.
Well, at the very least, I'll probably wait until he's done, find out what job he does.
Find out what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Well, I can get rid of the bad stuff.
I also contacted Sophie and I'll be meeting with her tonight about surveillance on the penthouse. I think maybe at least one of us should go back to the Dead Shop building and maybe have a chat with Hollow about doing some research on Euphoria, her entourage, find out what she's into. Let's hope she's a conspiracy theorist, because that'll make life a lot easier. Maybe just do some background on our subject.
When Shadow mentions that you've got to meet up with Gloria this evening, he'll just suggest that how much do you trust Gloria?
Sophie.
Sophie, sorry.
I've worked with her several times. I trust her.
I've got the idea that, while absolutely I agree that her surveillance capability is certainly more than anything we've got ourselves readily, telling her to surveil the, whatever the place was that Euphoria is staying at, the name's going out of my head right now.
Pacific Towers.
Pacific Towers, yeah.
She's on the penthouse, the top floor.
And particularly if you're telling her exactly which part of the towers you want surveilled, it would not be hard for Sophie to work out who's there, and then when the story gets out, if Euphoria gets kidnapped, it won't be hard for her to hook one and one together.
Oh, I'm counting that she'll be able to put one and one together, probably even before that.
Actually, she's not on the top floor, she's on the 21st floor. Still got a penthouse though.
But having worked with Sophie and having been integral in keeping Sophie alive, I trust that Sophie is like a safe as long as I pay her reasonably. She does understand that I don't burn her, she doesn't burn me, and together we are able to make more money that way.
Together you're family.
Kind of.
Happy with that? So, as I said before, just confirmation of exactly how much the cost goes. So.
Well, I know her costs have always been reasonable. She's never tried to rip me off. I think that has something to do with the job that I went and worked with her on while you guys were doing Humanus. At which point I was able to help her stay alive, and I think she appreciates that. She shows that by being very fair with me and upfront.
Yep, that's good. All good.
Okay,
I think it's one of the few contacts I can actually trust not to burn me.
as long as you don't give her a reason to.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Harry Callahan would put cuffs on me in about 2.5 seconds. If he felt I deserved it.
He'd put cuffs on anyone who deserved it.
Yeah.
One of the few cops who doesn't care about bribes,
No.
which is why he's in the Redmond Barrens.
It'd be interesting to put him in the same room as Talon, though, and see what would happen then.
I'm sure she'd end up arrested very quickly.
I don't know. Is he that incorruptible?
No.
No, he's got the opposite thing that makes it difficult to persuade.
Does he?
He's got the counter.
Well, maybe.
He's very suspicious of people and doesn't believe in anyone.
I have a feeling the GM would just give him GM armor, which is no dice is getting through his ethics.
But it could also be the fact of, yes, he would not be immune to her charms. It doesn't mean that he's not wanted and therefore not a criminal and therefore to be arrested.
Yeah, exactly.
And plus, if he arrests her, he gets to spend more time with her. Oh, you're charming me. Sure, here, just put these on and we get to spend as much time as you want.
I've got this lovely set of bracelets and jewellery for you. Because you love me so much, or I love you so much.
Yeah, no, we don't want to do that to Talon. She's got enough trouble.
Okay.
No, thank you.
So that said, I'll head back to Deadshot building after we've done our bits here to talk to Hollow about doing some background, and I might take the affectionately named Troublesome Twosome with me, Flogger and Bolt, just to keep them entertained and to keep an eye on them.
Ooh, that's scary.
What's that?
I just saw one of the talents that you definitely would have. Unrelenting skeptic. I reckon he's got a high vigilance.
Oh,
Level of vigilance adds that failures to deception checks against him.
Okay, so yes, who wants to go back to the Deadshot building, and who's going to stay around and check out what job your building manager's doing?
Well, I'm cleaning, so I'll be checking.
Well, no,
out the
not
job.
Well,
cleaning
we're
yet.
waiting for the building manager to do his spruce up before we go in. We've just got the gear ready.
Yeah, but I'll still be there with the
Yep.
cleaning service.
Yep. Ready to go. Oh, we forgot to ask.
Is Talon needed to stick around? If Talon's not needed for any charm purposes, she'll head back to the dead shop.
Forgot to ask Bolt, is there, in amongst the things that he found in the apartment, was there clean sheets and towels and various things like that?
Linen.
Bolt probably won't understand what linen is, but Bolt will understand sheets and towels. Because I presume Bolt occasionally uses them.
What,
I
the
mean,
B
you know,
word?
Bolt sleeps on them in a nest.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You know, you may not use them conventionally, like the boring human and elves and things do, but you probably make use of them as things that soak up water when you don't want water around, and things that are soft to lie on.
Yeah, no, that's right. You wouldn't use it conventionally because that would imply the B word.
Oh no, like I use it as a bed. It's just more like a dog bed than a bed.
I'm talking bath.
Oh, bath.
Yeah,
A dog
yeah,
doesn't mind water.
No,
Just
that's
not
not
the
unusual.
context.
Dogs like to swim. Doesn't mean they like the bath.
True.
Okay.
True.
So yes, Bolt did find the linens and stuff, and what appears to be fresh toiletries as well.
Everything's in sealed plastic, which has that kind of like
Corporate feel
really
to it.
obvious smell to it as well, like
We
that
use
new kind of car smell.
Were there curtains?
There were curtains, yes.
Just need a way to actually stop people from seeing inside. Alright, well that's that thing we don't have to worry about. So yeah, I'm happy to take Talon, Bolt, and Flogger if they want to come back to Deadshot Building to do some background. Well, I presume Womp and Desrin monitor the apartment.
Okay.
Is that
That seems to be the go.
is that everybody?
Yeah.
Okay, so the rest of you wander back to the Deadshot building. And yes, you can see they are currently having a sale on the latest action hero toy range.
The Mankini action heroes.
Well, they've got Mankinis, but they also do have their little action figures.
Yeah, I presume it's the superheroes, Legacy and Wraith.
Yeah.
All of that.
So we can get some more for, what, Raven, was it, I think?
No, Jane.
Jane, yes.
Yeah.
You can see the rabbit currently buying the latest stuff as it comes out.
I'd say we don't buy her anything. She's already onto it before we even know it exists.
And you can see the twitching of the must get, singing the jingles as she's getting it.
She was already in debt to start with. I can't imagine the debt she's in now.
But hey, I'm sure she'll do whatever she needs to make sure she feeds her hobby. Addiction, hobby, addiction, hobby.
I don't think the word hobby is the ones in there at this stage.
It's a coping mechanism.
Okay, so yes, you get all the way up to Hollow's lair. Seeing written on the outside of the door, it actually has Hollow's lair written on the door.
I'll put in brackets temporary. Because I still hope that SoCal will come back one day, because I had a long relationship with SoCal, so I'd like to see him again one day. I'll knock on the door, but will let myself in. It's more of a kind of a courtesy knock rather than a wait to let me in type knock.
As you knock and open, you see the bolt slide across to lock the door after it's just opened.
Yeah, I was going to say, does it make it before I manage to get it open, or?
Well, if you didn't have keys, it would have made sure it was locked.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing that SoCal left me those. I did stop at Stuffer Shack though, and I do have a coffee. And I presume there's like 15,000 empty coffee cups in this room.
There's coffee cups, there's stacks of the protein drinks, of the soda drinks, of the basically anything you can drink as a meal is here.
I make a mental note that we may have to send a cleaning crew into this room at some point.
And then you've got the pile of drones.
Either that, or I'll suggest to Hollow, you might want to put those drones to good use and get them to take out the garbage.
I mean, it might have lots of rubbish, but the rubbish is at least like in a corner and it's like neat. It's just still there.
It's stacked like a wall.
I'm doing a wall.
The problem is that, yes, it's all been put away in the corner. The problem is that corner has now reached 3/4 square across the room.
Yeah, and there's a distinct smell, which I think you may want to get on top of. Just been to an apartment where the insects looked like they would fight for ownership, and I don't think you want it to get that stage here.
I mean, that's the point of having a nice, like, closed building, is that you don't get bugs in it.
I don't know, I think we might.
You can still get bugs in it, especially considering that somewhere underneath the area you're in is a toxic waste dump.
Yeah. Anyway.
So the bugs might be a little glow in the dark.
Look, it's merely a suggestion that someone with
Fallout
your
bugs.
talents could probably program those drones to take it to the garbage for you pretty easy. Not a lot of effort required, and no insect interactivity. We've got a job, so I've got a job for you. If you'd like to earn your keep.
Oh yeah, is it as scary as the last one that we tried to do?
Yes and no. Confidentiality is the key. We need to locate the pop star Euphoria for about 3 days, and we've got to make sure that we can do it without anyone knowing that we took her, finding out where she's taken to, and that she doesn't leave. So I need as much on her background as possible to try and facilitate that. So I'll just go over kind of the job and the kind of information that would be helpful for that kind of job, like her movements, her entourage.
Hollow taps a couple of keys and gets you to Euphoria's own media site.
Yep,
and you realize that Euphoria is pretty much streaming 24/7 her life.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
And there's not to worry about finding photos of her entourage. There are thousands of photos of her entourage every day. She probably puts up close to 10,000 pictures a day.
So I guess I get to have the fun of maybe working with Hollow for the next few hours, noting down each person, what they do, and then seeing if we can establish a timeline. And in the between time, I might send Tarlin with Flogger to get some fripperies to decorate the flat with, because I'm pretty sure that they've done that kind of thing before and they've had quite a lot of fun. And I might send Bolt with a food order for right now, and then a food order for, because you said there's dehydrated food but nothing else there at the flat.
There's
the
dehydrated
food was like the fancy stuff.
High quality dehydrated food. You can't buy food fresh of better quality in the region.
Okay, but I might get some little extras. So I know that Trixie does like cookies and fudge and things like that. So I'll put together sort of a pre-order list of things that you might
Dope someone up with.
Pop star, yeah, to make them feel they're being spoiled a bit. Yeah, and
So you're able to find out with very little legwork that there's at least 3 cameras on Euphoria at any given moment, all streaming out onto the Matrix as a live feed. And she has over 1 billion followers.
So I can see a problem here that I'm sure everybody else can see, which is when we disappear her on Thursday somewhere, she is not going to be on a live feed for 72 straight hours or more, and that's going to be a big problem for people who are used to watching her. And
she's talking about her upcoming appearances, including dates, times, and stuff, is being put up on her feed every half an hour.
Question.
Yep.
That mask spell. There's also a spell that I can do where I can make some things look like other things. Is that right?
Are we thinking the same thing right now?
I was going to say, can I theoretically make someone else look like Euphoria?
You could.
And they could possibly go on a well-publicized drinking bend instead of actually going on their PR date?
Possibly, but they may also end up at the PR date unintentionally losing you the job.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
But
Just because Euphoria is not there, if a suitable substitute is.
well, the suitable substitute could be not there, but seen elsewhere. If that makes sense. Like, I'm having a mental breakdown. I'm going to Hawaii for 3 days, and then her constantly streaming in Hawaii for 3 days. You know what I mean? But without her entourage type thing.
This is Carlin's dream right now, so please get past that. Amazing.
I don't know the specifics, but it's kind of like a...
You can do it, except you need to get, like... What was it?
I'm just thinking through, if she's streaming
you need to get 3
24
tries.
hours,
Yep.
and she suddenly disappears, the kind of resources that are going to be put into finding her, it may be helpful to have a duplicate somewhere, inaccessible, but somewhere, that kind of puts them off the track. Maybe.
Yeah, but my concern would be that whilst that might satisfy the masses, it's not going to satisfy the managers or the people who are actually going to instigate any sort of reaction to Euphoria's kidnapping. And
what about...
if they've got someone there who's acting as a decoy, as mentioned, if that decoy is good enough, well, they might just go ahead with the appearance that they need it for anyway. And B, if it's not good enough, or even if it is, all you're doing is providing them a start point for their investigation.
I was trying to cut in and say the other thing we could do, because as I said, it was just the start of a vague idea, was the decoy could at least make the announcement that they need creative space-time, and then we disappear them both. But there's like a something that says, I haven't been kidnapped, I've decided I want space. I've been watched by 1 billion people, I love you all, but as you can understand, I finally need to get some space. And then they sign off and then they just disappear. But at least then it kind of puts into question whether she's been kidnapped at all, at least for the beginning.
But that would rely on the idea that what you think you're seeing now as a live feed is actually live.
Well, yeah, we have to verify that, which is a question for Hollow.
I would think it was much more likely that her manager and staff and things like that are ensuring that what is live is still, in fact, what they want the world to see.
I don't know. Some stars out there, they really don't care. But we can ask Hollow that question right now, and we can also ask Sophie that question as well. As I said, it was just they're just ideas.
Yeah, definitely worth looking at, but I'm concerned with the big factor of providing the people who are going to do the investigation a definite start point in their investigation by saying, hey, here is someone to talk to, or interrogate, or
I meant more of a case of not leaving the decoy there, because I hadn't really gotten through just thinking about a decoy.
Or you just
Yeah.
decoy some random person.
But yeah, the idea would be perhaps maybe we could just have the decoy record a message to the world, or put a message to the world. You know, we take Euphoria, we put the decoy up, making the dramatic announcement that they want some space, that they love their fans, they're okay, they just need some mental health days to themselves. And it could be put down to a dramatic tantrum by a overspoiled rock star type thing. But I think we'll have to do the surveillance and the footwork before we can, you know, both of
like
those.
find out what we're up against and then.
Yeah. I was just thinking about if she's on stream 24/7, even if they're controlling it to a degree, the fact that she's just going to suddenly disappear is something that we may have to think about how we're going to deal with.
But the point is, she wouldn't suddenly disappear unless we can actually get access and control those feeds. They're going to see the kidnapping.
Well, that's the other side of things. I can
So it wouldn't be a case of just suddenly disappearing. It's
that's the other
so possibly
side.
we could, after the event, have Euphoria put out
That's what I meant.
apparent view screen or video or something saying that, yeah, she set up the deliberate kidnapping to make it look like she was kidnapped so that she would get the days away because her management was so awful, making her do stuff 24/7 and never have a break for herself and no time and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, well, that's the kind of thing that I was intending that we could do as a kind of cover. The other side of things is I can use Mask to hide the kidnapping. We could use a decoy to look at like she's voluntarily coming or going somewhere, but set it up so that the decoy doesn't ever actually get in the hands of her real entourage and management. If that makes sense. We use Mask to make her invisible, then we use the decoy to make it look like she's voluntarily running away. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And that way she's not abducted, and then you could still put that message up there saying, I get no space, my management sucks, this is why I ran away. That might hold off authorities for a little.
But just one question, like when you go through that stuff then, I guess with the fact that her schedule has been put up there and updated every half hour and type of stuff, does that schedule confirm or align with what Mr. Johnson said was her schedule?
It does.
Accurately nothing for the next 5 days, staying in her apartment and
she has
going to the...
She has some appointments most nights where it's basically going to event here, event there, and nothing major until the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where she's got like 10 events planned over 3 days.
She could get swept off her feet by a troll in a dance off. And wearing a mankini.
So you're going to be leaving her apartment during the next few days?
She will. So, Em, what is Hollow's computer skill?
Computer? Which one? SysOps or computer hacking?
I'm going to go SysOps.
SysOps. 3 yellow, 3 green, 2 blue. What do you mean half?
Okay, so Hollow looks at the feed and, as asked earlier, and says first thing Hollow comes out with is the feed's all doctored.
Okay, so none of it's genuine?
Nothing seems to be streaming live.
It's acting like it is though.
It is, but Hollow's able to pull out enough information to say that most of this is recut footage from other nights. You're sure that she only does it live maybe one day a week, or every now and then, and mainly has the live feed when she goes out.
Yeah. There's obviously a lot of other potential authors that would contradict a non-live feed.
Which means that the schedule she keeps is simply because that's the feed they've recorded and play.
Yeah. So in terms of that, they would be able to play stuff potentially for 3 days.
They could, but she wouldn't be making the appearances she's been promising for over a month now.
That's right, that's for 3 days if we're supposed to be doing at least 10 appearances a day type stuff.
She's supposed to be out and
right.
about for 3 whole days, meeting fans, signing autographs, having photo ops.
Yeah.
Which is why we've been
They
hired
probably have a
to actually
double
stop her
virgin.
doing those appearances.
What was the
Because they
reason
want
behind
the-
that again? Sorry, I think I
So Mr. Johnson doesn't want to do those appearances, presumably because
So,
if she does those appearances, her endorsement of whatever product it is that she's there at the time or going with will boost the profit margin of the company, and Mr. Johnson presumably works for a rival company.
so it's not presumably he does. So she signed up to Product A to do their new
Flavor of the month.
flavor of the month. It's called Amber Gel. It's a new product. The Johnson has their own product, same sort of product, different name. They can't release it though until afterwards. If she appears and sees through the marketing program, it's going to drive their product into the ground and reduce their profits.
Oh,
So-
their product won't even go to market.
Yeah, so they want to stop her from endorsing Amber Gel, and to do that, they want us to kidnap her for 3 days, and then after that's done, they then want to offer her a contract to advertise their rival product. So yeah, it's kind of very I can't think of the right word. It's all about money and profits for these corporations, basically.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
really
yeah.
care about.
I think that's some of the
person.
context that I was really tired last session. I think that was towards the end of last session
Yeah.
when we got that
Yep.
context, and that's what I couldn't remember. So thank you.
And it's all about making her disappear for 3 days.
Yeah.
With a heavy emphasis on no harm to her.
Yes. Yep. And we also don't want her to find out that this person who's asked us to kidnap her is gonna basically offer her a job.
No.
Either. I mean, I guess in terms of this, finding out what she's actually doing currently is going to be a bit harder because it's not live streamed.
Well, that's what
So-
we need to do. That'll be part of the surveillance, I guess.
But for the majority of the world, they wouldn't see through the... it seems that there is quite a talented person splicing the video together to make it look live.
Like it's a live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has all the stamps of being live stream, including the hard to fake time all going and in sync in all three feeds.
You mean it's actual fake news?
Kind of. Fake real life, maybe? I don't know.
Well, there will be things of her. She has a yoga thing at this hour. She eats at that hour. Always has the same thing on a Wednesday.
But it might not actually be always on Wednesday. It's just like whenever she eats that, but they're splicing it on Wednesday.
Yep. And that way she gets privacy and publicity at the same time.
Mm. It's pretty clever, actually.
But obviously it takes the effort to get up and make happen.
And I'm
Yeah,
sure
well,
she
yeah.
does new footage. Maybe spends an hour a day making new footage to go up and mix things up a bit.
Mm. Like might actually be some live streaming in there, but not currently.
Well, you don't expect there's any live streaming until she leaves the building.
Right.
Up until then, it's pre-recorded and mixed in.
Okay, so that does give us our answer. If it is this pre-recorded, doctored thing, then she's more than likely at home.
And there's also a possibility that none of the video of her apartment is actually her apartment. Just so that she gets a little more privacy than she would normally get.
Yeah.
Talking about that sort of stuff and looking at the backgrounds of the feed, obviously, yes, it might not be a real background, it might be single extensive, but part of the issue would be, is there any evidence of regular people appearing in there, i.e. specifically looking at who security staff, bodyguard, that sort of personnel, are they visible in this feed at all?
It is recorded.
So you've got records of cooking, cleaning, security staff, people interacting with her. Basically, there seems to be someone to do everything she needs on the stream. So she looks to be one of those useless flops who doesn't do anything for herself.
High maintenance.
To be honest, I want to be one of those people, so I'm not judging her.
Yeah, because is there any indication as to effectively leak in potential security to give an indication of who or what we might be up against when we do go for the thing? It's not, obviously, hopefully a lot of it will come from surveillance of the apartment itself, which hopefully is the actual apartment, not the fake background provided in the live feed. But yeah, just working on the idea that the feed may provide some additional information when we're working out, okay, when we go for the snacks, what are we likely to be up against in the meantime? So,
well, her greenhouse...
I don't know how much the snacks are going to make a difference. I mean, you can't polish a turd, you know what I mean? She's not going to get in there and be like, oh my God, you got me chipolatas. Thanks.
She might be.
Still in a coffin toilet. I mean,
yeah, I would agree. It's not that we're not going to get much out of it. He's not going to like the accommodation, irrespective of what we do to it.
You do see she does have a greenhouse balcony, and motion sensors would not work on that because it's open to the outside.
Is there a potential lift her off the roof?
Is it? Wow.
And it does have, because the upper floors are all tiered, the outside edge of her apartment is open to the, basically is part of the roof. But as you move in about 2 meters, then it's the floor above.
Okay, right, yeah. So basically, her apartment, whilst it's not on the top floor, it overhead the building gets a bit thinner at the top, and so therefore her penthouse has apparently a sky views without interrupted.
2 meters of garden space.
Yeah.
Oh, the greenhouse is bigger than 2 meters. It's just that it's got this 2 meter open to the sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's basically an 8 meter railing, and it goes back about 5 meters into the building. So if you were to say do a jump to land in there, you could literally make that landing with a hang glider very easily.
Yeah.
So a stealth entry would easily make it into that space.
Yes. Which makes me wonder if it's actually open to the air or whether it's just like a clear plexiglass covering and or the internal wall of the greenhouse is completely blocked off. Assuming that the building has good decent security, that seems like a bloody big hole.
Well, actually, it's the corner. I was reading the wrong number. So it is the corner. It is bigger than that. It's a 6 by 8 corner of the building.
For which 2
Okay.
meters is exposed to.
Along 2 edges.
And according to the info that you've been given, it's not as Jeremy's theorizing, which is plexi, some sort of glass. It is actually open to.
Well, the video feed you see makes it look open.
Okay, so
Okay,
it could be
that's
as
the live
Jeremy-
feed that is presumably doctored. So that's what I'm looking at is the case that if this is actually the apartment, first of all, and then B, from the information we get from Sophie, that'll be something to be looking at.
Is it actually open or not? So
Hey,
that's
Martin,
what I was trying to
has,
figure out if Martin was saying that.
has Hollow got any of those drones working yet?
Hollow's probably gotten a couple working, but they don't have DIDs to run in downtown.
Nah, okay, yeah. As I was thinking, we could possibly do reconnaissance. How hard is those IDs to get?
Well, you've got to register them with a SIN, and that SIN has to be squeaky clean so it can actually fly in high security areas.
Oh, so it's like one of the top tier SINs that would need, and then that would probably be burnt like immediately.
Well, the moment something goes wrong, that ID will be flagged for capture.
Yes, yeah.
Because it will have been registered as flying near this building.
Yeah. So I'd need to spend a lot of money to have it potentially only be used once in that area.
You would
To be
have
able to fly and do reconnaissance.
you'd have to use the top tier ID to just burn it for one use.
Yeah.
That's a very expensive.
Yeah, no, I don't
Depends on
want to
the
do.
job.
I
If
don't
you
want to
paid
do that.
millions
If
for
it
the
was
job.
simple, I would have thought it would be a good idea, but it sounds like it will cost too much.
What was it? Top tiers? What was it 50,000?
About that.
And then it depends on how quickly you want it.
Yeah, so if you're getting paid, say, $1 million for a job, yeah, you'd chuck in easily $100,000 for a couple of top tier SINs for some drones
And
to do the
if they are an official private investigator and they can say, here's my license, here's what I was investigating, and justify why they're there, then they generally get kept, but they'd probably be doing so from an interrogation room.
And at the very least, expected to hand over all the data and information they had so they could help the investigation.
That is correct. That's the main reason they get them, not expecting them to be part of the plot to take someone. But if they do manage to capture someone as part of the plot, that's just bonus.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do anything. If it was going to be simpler than that, I thought it might have been a good idea, but it sounds like that would be not worth it.
Well, hopefully we can get a lot of that stuff from Sophie.
Yeah, well, hopefully. But hey, I was just throwing out an idea.
But it's also the thing to think about is that those drones can still be useful, or well, ideally, to potentially provide short-term coverage in Overwatch when the kidnapping actually occurs.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want them hanging around just doing surveillance, because then they're going to get picked up immediately. But if they're only hanging around for 10 minutes, then they've got a better chance of getting away clean. So, but
Yeah. So they could be useful, but just not for surveilling her apartment.
yeah, not for longer term surveillance issues. So.
Yeah. Hey, I just thought I'd throw the idea out.
That's the sort of thing that Dexter's probably going to try and get hold of some drones in that sort of way as part of his process, and spending all his copious amounts of money. So I'll have to remember exactly how to use them.
You do see that all her security have the Knight Errant symbols on their shoulders.
Oh, fuck.
Aries.
Oh, great.
And
Not
they...
unfair.
So I actually got it slightly known to Knight Aries.
Mm-hmm. And they all seem to be senior members in the organization.
Fantastic.
Well, again, that so that's what's coming on what's been of the security on the live feed, is that right?
And when she goes places.
Yeah. So again, that's potentially, both a company she works for and a management team and Nike around make it look like she's getting the top notch
So,
everything. They kind of advertise for Nike around at that sort of time, but I'm certainly going to be interested in finding in reviewing the footage from Sophie to see if there are other bodyguard security type personnel that don't end up on the live screen at all.
So one of the things we need to do is establish at least some legitimate parts of her schedule, which will probably be just identifying any live events. And then there'll be places that it might be easier to intercept her at. And then if she's only coming out of the apartment for live events, then it's possible that if we can figure out what that live event is before the Friday, we could create a distraction at the live event and then maybe use mask to invisible her and get her out of there. But if they've got higher level Knight Errant security,
I suspect that the time of lightest security is likely to actually be on her way to a scheduled event, or even just as she's coming out of the hotel or the apartment, like her apartment block.
or as
Of the idea that when she gets to a scheduled event, which everyone knows is happening and where it's happening, obviously, that the security are aware that everybody knows where she is, so therefore they're going to have to be an accurate top-notch at that point in time. But if they don't actually, if it turns out that her apartment is not the one that everyone thinks it is elsewhere, then you won't get the people and therefore the security requirement outside the hotel when she's on her, like if she leaves.
You also...
The hotel actually has security as well, so obviously that you'll be dealing with that moment in time.
You also identify that her head of security is a retired Shadowrunner. Known as Osprey.
Osprey.
Cyber Samurai.
Oh, lovely.
Okay.
Rumored to have worked for Renraku. As a Renraku runner.
Well, certainly that'll be a bit of a legwork process to try and get more info on Osprey.
and known to have a mage on site known as Stone, who Womp recognizes as one of the guest speakers in the university every now and then.
What's his specialty?
His specialty is pretty much overpowering people with more magic than they can withstand.
He's a blaster.
He's literally known for taking people out with spells. Threat removal.
In other words, well, I'm more of the defensive side. He's the defensive.
He is basically he hasn't used his abilities in class. Just that he's got enough of a reputation that it was supposed to be part of the final year of study. You get to see how long you can hold up against him. As one of the final exams.
Challenge accepted.
Well, if you can last more than a round, then technically that's a pass. However many rounds you last beyond that, we'll see whether you make a HD or not.
So we're gonna have to plan for their
Oh, it's
magic.
yeah. So he's straight Arcanus, isn't he?
He is a solid Arcanist, yes.
Okay. So they. So he's basically a blaster. He doesn't. I don't think he has the ability to track.
He doesn't need it. He may have it, but he never shows it.
That could be another problem. We could possibly get her off that balcony as well. We do have a bolt and a flogger who are quite capable of just manually grabbing.
Who are we fucking up? I heard our names. What's going on?
No, it'll be a damsel in distress scenario.
So, from what you know of him, he is one of the quickest spell slingers in Seattle.
It'll be snitching a princess off a balcony, not fucking up the princess on the balcony.
Well,
you
what
may
we can't.
get to mess with the magic user though, as he tries to
No,
stop
but
us.
the other thing is that's going to be scary because there's a good chance you probably know about me too.
He will know you by sight.
Yeah.
And you believe that Osprey may also know you by sight.
Wouldn't it be great if we could
Well,
just
the
get...
other thing is I am also known by the Knights Errant because I'm basically got rid of their spirits with it.
I was going to say, wouldn't it be great if we just get Flogger to open a door in his room, out onto her balcony, grab her, pull her back into that room, and job done.
That would make things so much easier.
It would. Spitty Flogger can't use his doors like that just yet. Might be something Flogger will consider one day.
Yeah, the problem is if confrontation starts, it's going to go downhill quite quickly.
I don't know, the last time we had a confrontation and we used Flogger's doors, they got locked in one of Flogger's rooms and bolt tore them to pieces. So together as a team they work well.
Okay.
I'm joking.
I mean, do we really want to knock Flogger out every time to make a door appear?
No.
But that's just me.
No.
I can knock Flogger out
I
quite
was
easily.
joking.
I've now got the spell that knocks him out quite easily. And I actually won't cost me much to
You
cast.
guys should be able to tell by now if I put out a highly unlikely scenario that is definitely not going to work, it's meant for the lighthearted amusement of you, not as a serious suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah, the problem is we've still got Flogger in the party, so we've got to make sure that it's clear that it's not the plan.
The
Yeah.
thing is, as soon as combat starts, we have to do it without trying to get any combat whatsoever. It means that you have to be nice and sneaky.
You also know that her
Sneaky enough.
agent and manager goes by the name Robert Carone.
What's that name familiar?
He
Does that mean anything to us?
he's currently working out of Mega Media, one of the major areas, and Carone is also a name of mob people.
Yeah, I get
Also,
it.
the
probably
mafia
mafia.
that we got our stuff from was
He's
related.
probably related. They are made men after all.
Maybe we might have to get a negotiation. Try to work out if we can actually negotiate them not fronting up.
I don't
The fact that another organisation wants her not to do anything, and they actually.
that would defeat the secrecy clause of our current job. But it is possible to get Tarlin to charm them to a degree. I think it's going to be teamwork, basically.
Okay, so I'll give you some extra information based on what Hollow was able to find out for you. Security around Euphoria. She has retained Michael Adams, whose street name is Osprey. So she's actually dug out his real name, which most of you hadn't known, as her personal bodyguard ever since her early days of stardom. For extra security, Osprey has brought in his friend Alexander Cross, which is Stone, to provide magical support. Additionally, Strice Foods pays for a team of Night Errant security guards to protect her around the clock. So it says that she has a team of 4 guards always on site. And anytime she sees in public, she's always protected by the English guy. He's the Street Sam. And he's been her regular bodyguard for as long as most people have heard her. And they usually bring in extra security when on the road, freelancers. And they're paying for a team of 9 Errant guards to watch over her. But it's believed that Osprey is considered a basically financial drain for most people, and all the guards are loyal to Osprey, not her.
Okay.
So
So that certainly backs up the idea that we want to try and take her either in the apartment or before she arrives at a public appearance. Maybe on the way to a public appearance, but better before she gets there.
And the first show that she has going is on the Renraku Ecology in the foyer.
Not getting her there.
When's that? Is that?
That is on the Friday.
Okay.
That's not we've got to stop her getting to.
A big lunchtime crowd appointment.
So Thursday night's our absolute last day to get up.
Well, I don't know. Potentially Friday evening on her way to Renraku, but not when she gets to
No,
Renraku.
it's Friday lunchtime she's going to Redmond.
Yeah.
Oh, Friday morning. Okay,
So
but yeah, either way then.
Friday morning is the absolute latest.
And
Well,
the news on Osprey is that he's been guarding her for at least a year and a half before she came to Seattle. And it's been 2 years since he's been in the runner scene. Known as a tough as nails mercenary with quite a few cyber mods. Also known as a pretty boy who flaunts his English background, basically linking himself to being a king via heritage.
So Tarlin seduces Osprey, holding him up from getting her, and then gives us a window to get her.
And that would give you an option. And Stone, who's known as Alexander Cross, studied magic at UCLA, which is why he keeps coming back there, and just recently gotten a doctorate on breaking wards
Well,
and
could
shielding.
possibly go to him with the how do I solve my curse problem and slow him down.
Though he's said to be retired from running in the shadows, he's also an ex-Shadowrunner. And it's said to have made a fortune while running.
Because Wong has a legitimate problem he could ask the magic guy about. So he could come off clean in a check. Legitimately wanted advice.
But when's he asking him?
Well, the idea would be to hold them both up long enough for us to go in and get her before she goes out.
Presumably they're in the apartment with her, though.
I don't know that they're... Oh,
It
they
probably
might
would have to
there.
be on a Thursday. Definitely not Friday. It will probably have to be during the days.
We'll have to do surveillance because I presume there's times where if he's as popular as he's supposed to be, there must be times where he does things because the guards are loyal to him, not her. So I presume he does things with Knight and Rand that might sometimes take him away from there. Like, even
You're
the most
talking about
dedicated
is it
bodyguards,
Osprey or Stone?
Osprey and Stone. Because Stone
Well-
goes to the university regularly, so he does leave the penthouse, and Osprey probably leaves the penthouse at times. So I guess the idea is to hold them up from returning so that they're not directly on site when we take him. Because if Stone's directly on site when we take Euphoria, I don't have a chance. And the same is kind of to be said for Osprey.
But like, okay, I got the impression the fact that while Stone did do university lectures, Stone just do university lectures. Presumably, he's not doing any for the next week or so while he's apparently bodyguarding Euphoria.
No, but we could set up a scenario where Womp, who goes to the same university, could approach him.
Sorry,
And
can
go,
I
Josh?
can I just interrupt?
Yeah, if you've got an idea, please do.
So we are well aware that this person has technology on them at all times. Yes, they're an influencer, they're whatever.
Well, we found out that it's all
so
fake.
they would at least have some sort of device on them, are we not? Correct.
There's a good chance they have devices on them at all times, but they only actually broadcast technically live when they leave the building. Up until then, it's doctored footage to make it look as if they're live.
Yeah. But they have a device on them. Yes.
They would
Something
have
that we can track.
They would most likely have multiple devices, and if you're tracking the live feed, you'll know exactly where they are because it does have GPS.
So can't we get like Hollow or Neuro or someone to basically backdoor the device and go, look, they're here. Let's go get them.
The problem is, by that time they've got their security entourage with them. We're trying to get without them having the security entourage with them.
The smallest
Isn't that the
security
point? They should
entourage.
always have a security person with them.
The smallest security entourage would be at her penthouse, which
Yeah.
would mean you would be expecting to face Stone and Osprey.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to distract those.
I mean, at this point, why don't we just do the surveillance on
Exactly.
the thing? Find out the routine. We have 2 days to do this.
You do?
3 days. So
3 days, yeah.
yeah, so we spend 2 days reconning the apartment. We get that information rather than just talking about getting that information, and and then we'll know the facts rather than just speculating.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for. I was just doing some background checks while I was waiting for Martin to call on my meeting to set up the surveillance with Sophie. Because
That's just the thing. That's our choice to set it up. So we go, yes, we want to do the surveillance.
Yeah.
Let's go do it.
Yeah. Well, let's go do the surveillance.
Okay, so later that day, Sophie shows up at the coffee shop that you've made your arrangements. Who's going to meet her?
Oh well, I'll have to be at least. I'll have to be there.
Is Desrin coming along?
Up to Desmond.
Have Declan met Sophie before?
I believe you have met Sophie before. She's also saved your butt a couple of times.
Yeah, she's the dwarf.
Yeah, no, obviously I knew that with the party had worked with Sophie before, but I couldn't remember that Declan had actually met her before. Because she was there, we'll go through the footage from the Paranobilis.
Yeah, the Paranobilis Association, yes. And she has worked with SoCal in the past as well.
I mean, obviously it comes down to whether or not Shadow happy that her arrangement with Sophie and the arrangement for the meeting was also going to involve other people. If it does,
let her know that there'll be other people with me. She knows the party.
Yeah.
So basically,
Declan's happy to
anyone who wants
attend,
come
but
can come. She's met Womp, Bolt, Flogger, and Tarlin. So she knows you all, so depends on if you want to come and meet the dwarf and chat to her.
Okay, so catching up with her, you do see that she is with Val, which Desrin recognizes as the smuggler with the airship.
Yep. Happy to see Val.
Currently going through some work together, apparently. And they welcome you all to the table. Val basically gives Desrin a hearty hug.
Yep.
And does a fist bump with Flogger.
Is there like how much pressure do I feel with the fist bump?
You barely even tell you've been touched, but you do see her rubbing her hand because, well, it hurt.
Yeah, I was about to say. Is this like a rock to like a glass thimble kind of deal?
It's more like soft squishy cheese to a rock. Sort of molds around your hand, but they don't like having their hand molded.
Oh, so sorry. Flogger don't know his burly strength. Yes.
She just gives you a wink and says she likes the Mankini pictures.
I am what they call model of Mankini.
Well, she's heard us become the rage all the way down to Los Angeles.
Ah, yes. I would believe that I am a...
Now everyone on the beach is now using them.
Then I am Anflanwensa, yes.
And she starts showing you pictures of everyone wearing mankinis.
Yes. Very vibrant, I approve. Yes.
She does greet Womp, Tarlin, and Bolt as well. And asks if you guys want anything. She'll grab some coffees or drinks while you guys talk biz.
No. We'll get the appropriate orders, but...
So, Sophie's asking what sort of surveillance are you looking for? Because that's basically what you call on her for.
I'll basically describe the fact that we're interested in the actual movements of a certain pop star, no questions asked, preferably, as to why and how. I presume she's professional enough not to ask why.
She winks.
Because she's got the 24/7 feed, but it's not actual feed, it's all edited, etc., outings. We need to establish legitimate schematics for the penthouse apartment, if we can.
Yeah, she remembers SoCal talking about writing a program to splice in video.
Did he ever actually get there?
He did that over a year ago.
So it could be something that's on his system?
Wouldn't be running through his system here. He would have it running through the corporate mainframe. Stupid them giving him access to the mainframe.
Oh, I see. Okay, that's interesting.
But he would be keeping his other involvement there to soft touches so he doesn't break the system.
Yeah, no, I get it.
While it's working, he still gets paid.
I was kind of just thinking about whether or not we could make use of the code, but that's a question for another time.
Well, he does get in contact every now and then saying he's on the road to recovery. Just that
he doesn't call me.
It's more text messages because it's more of a can you fix this, can you fix that, you need to enter activate this program, activate that program.
Oh,
so she's been running his maintenance stuff for him, so when he gets back he will be able to pick it up.
Good to hear.
Wasn't designed for him to have a long-term absence.
None of us expect to have long-term absences like the one he had. Hopefully I won't be having one soon. Do you think that kind of surveillance I'm asking for is possible, and how quickly, how much?
Well,
basically we're looking for video and potentially other surveillance feeds on get location for the next 48 hours.
48 hours, you can easily do that for 1,000 credits a day, and basically happy for you guys to pay when you get paid. As she knows, you're doing things a bit tight at the moment.
I'm particularly keen to see if I can establish some kind of routine for Osprey and Stone.
She sort of spits at the name of those two.
I don't need you to, get into their business, but I'd certainly like to know if they leave the building at any point with any kind of regularity.
Yeah, she says she would not trust that Osprey guy if you're ever in business with him.
Nope, I don't trust him, don't want to get near him, which is precisely what I want to know.
He works for whoever pays him the most.
Furthest away.
So if someone offers him more money on a job, he will happily switch sides.
Oh well, maybe once right, we could negotiate this thing.
Yes, he's getting paid a stupid amount at the moment, so...
Maybe not, we don't have a stupid amount of money.
He's sure that he gets paid a 7-figure sum every month.
Does anyone remember? Oh, we're getting paid...
Not a 7-figure sum.
we're getting paid an extra $5,000 each to cover expenses. I don't have what we're...
Yeah, 25 grand each.
25 each.
$25,000 each.
And you get half of that when you get her disappeared, and the other half when she returns to the public.
Pity you couldn't get the, or was it Humanus to sponsor, basically siphon money from that and pay him more.
Yeah, so, just basically want to try and establish a real routine if we can, some kind of schematics for the apartment if we can, and if we can identify times or somehow, track when Stone and Osprey actually leave the building, or at least aren't in her apartment, that would be good too. So I don't know if that's possible.
She'll do what she can and put together a package for you as soon as possible.
Yep.
She'll send it through to the usual terminal in the Dead Shop building.
Yep.
You sure you've still got Hollow working there? She gets Hollow to do stuff every now and then.
Yeah. Hollow's having fun with the drones, and exploring SoCal setup. I think it's her new home, if she ever has a home. To be honest, I haven't thought about it for a while, but I think Neuro's still in the building somewhere, so probably track down what he's up to and where he is.
He's probably squatting in one of the areas no one else is using.
Yeah, more than likely, yeah.
Okay, so she says she'll get that to you as soon as possible. She grabs her coffee to go.
I'll give her a little paper bag with a Trixie cookie in it. And apologise to Val and say, I didn't know you were going to be here, I only got one cookie.
Okay, so she says she will hopefully have something for you in the next couple of hours.
Thank you.
Well, that might be the initial type stuff, but hopefully it's going to take 48 hours at least to get 48 hours of surveillance.
Depending on how much surveillance she's already got access to.
Yeah. Before we go, could I also get more distance surveillance from Friday to Sunday? They'll be on high alert, so you'll be on high alert, but just more something to kind of keep track of where they are, but without you getting close to them. Is that possible at all?
She can work something out. She's got a few irons in the fire in downtown already.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, something that's not gonna bring you to their attention, but something that might help us know if they're getting too close to us.
Oh, she does lots of work in the city. She's still got her license.
Cool.
Or at least the license she's using is still valid.
That works. That works really well. Okay.
And she makes sure the Lone Star gets paid off enough to let her keep operating.
I just figure the best way to not be taken down by Osprey and Stone is to know how far away I have to be from them.
She says normally in a
Or
different
take them
city.
down as part of a crash.
That too.
Yeah, yeah. That too. Alright, thank you. Many thanks. And look forward to seeing you on the other side of this job.
Okay, you see her get out into a nice looking convertible with Val.
Yeah, I'd expect Val to have nice vehicles, but I'd also expect Sophie to be well funded enough to have her own nice vehicles.
And they seem to be heading off to downtown.
I keep thinking of that song that's got downtown in the chorus. Do you know the one?
Downtown.
Downtown.
Okay, so did you guys want to plan anything else beforehand before you get the info?
I know
And
Talon wants to buy weapons, but I don't know if that would be for this job.
Okay, certainly in Demon's case, yeah, the idea of purchasing or making sure we've got a good supply of tank patches, and also talking if there's any more information on the street or on the web about these spice foods, amber gel,
Background research, basically.
yeah.
Ursula would
Mr. Johnson, so do we know exactly which company Mr. Johnson works for? We recognise it was an alternative company to Spice Foods, but do we know exactly who it was?
You weren't exactly sure who it was.
I guess Jeremy's asking, can we figure that out?
You probably could. I'm just looking through the notes now to see. Okay, so you probably think that it is Ludvinko is the person who's financing
Ludvinko?
Ludvinko.
Ludvinko.
And they're the one about to release something called Blue Biscay, which seems to be a competitor to Amber Gel.
Biscay, did you say?
Yep.
Okay, that's, do we know any more about them, or that's all we need to know?
Just that this Amber Gel seems to be really affecting the company. So the stocks are currently going down on the company he works for.
Amber Gel is currently on the market then?
Amber Gel will be hitting the market on Friday.
Okay, so it's not actually out yet. The rumours of it are already impacting other competition.
Especially considering it's got the celebrity attached to its official release day.
Yeah, because I'll have all the posters and everything done already. Well, not posters, obviously.
And Strice Foods, which is the people who are selling it.
Sorry, who are the people selling it?
Strice.
Yeah, Strice Foods. And it looks as if this item that they're doing will basically launch them into maybe A or AA status.
So there's a lot of money on the line.
It's a make or break for the company.
Do we know anything about either company in terms of ethical alignment, dragon involvement? Who we would rather not miff? Like, I presume if Ludvinko is owned, somewhere up the chain by Sadacroft, whatever they're called, we probably want to make sure we don't fail it, because you don't want a gold dragon at the other end unhappy, and vice versa.
Hard to tell because you don't actually know who he's working for.
I just thought if we happen to know that would be fine, but if we don't, we don't.
If I get to that section, I might actually be able to tell what he does.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to log off only because I'm very tired.
All good.
I've got another early.
We will see you in a fortnight.
Soon anyway. We're just
Yeah.
finalising the information gathering part of it.
I've got my clip in me, so.
Okay, so yes.
Alright, I'll see you guys.
We will see you in a fortnight.
Sorry if I held things up by talking too much.
So yes, you're basically looking for any extra information. So Strice is basically got someone by the name of Vincent Burrows in charge of their amber gel, and looks as if it's their big push.
I really just want to know if there's anything relevant to the.
And there seems to be a computer system linked into the amber gel itself. They've actually bought an entire system for it.
What?
The amber gel food product has its own division associated with it.
Oh,
With its own computer system.
Oh, I thought you meant there was
What does that
nanites in
mean?
the amber gel.
There may be, who knows?
I
But-
don't understand what you mean. They bought a whole computer system
Again,
into it.
again, the company Strike Food has dedicated an entire division to amber gel, including its lawn, and it has its own subsystem on the computer network.
Okay.
So that means they bought a whole bunch of tech just for this new product.
Okay. So there's just been investment, basically.
It's invested more money than the entire team would see in their entire career.
Okay. Alright.
Which does then make it, they obviously got, they want to make certain makes it go ahead, but also it explains why Mr. Johnson wants it to fail.
I'm just.
But presumably, if they've invested this much into it, if it doesn't work, then it's not just a case of Mr. Johnson's company and the rival for amber gel being successful. It's potentially going to take out Mr. Johnson's company's rival, Strice Foods.
Yeah.
And Mega Media Entertainment, which is what is doing all the advertising, is one of the top 6 media companies that is independent. And they're basically the big SimSense Star organization. And rumors have it that they recently severed ties with Lone Star in favor of Night Around, which is a bit of a political stir in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of politics and things like that, is that all relevant, or it's just?
It means
this is a
that
big deal.
Lone Star might not lift a finger to help the organization because they're
Noting
the
that
police
Lone
force.
Star currently still has the police
Yeah.
contract for Seattle, so it means that yes, if there was a disturbance created during a particular event on the road or something on the way to Enraku, then Lone Star may be slower to respond,
Yeah.
but obviously Night Run will be trying to respond quickly. So,
If it's done in public, you might have Night Errant Lone Star show up quicker to one up Night Errant in saving them publicly.
yeah.
But in private, they're less likely to make an appearance because if they help or not, it's not going to help their public image.
And it also potentially means that in that, on that line, Lone Star are potentially going to provide less support to any investigation subsequent to an event of trying
Yeah.
to find the kidnapped victim and things. So,
That's also a good thing to keep in mind.
So I'm going to assume you guys will be picking up non-lethal takedown options.
Yeah.
Such as dart guns, rifles,
Tasers,
tasers,
stun
all
guns.
that, gel rounds,
Yeah.
all that sort of thing, knockout grenades.
Yes to all.
and obviously stun patches. So, And yeah, take a look back and see what Mr. Manic and Warp have done at the 812 to see what the results of his efforts are.
Well, he
And,
seems to have done a fumigation, a replacement of all filters, and a replacement of the broken chair. Apparently, you made an impact on him.
Good.
Sounds like a really
As long as it's a memorable impact of a different memory.
Of someone with a bird legs, a big mole, and a mustache.
Well, she's gone to bed, so we will have to tell her next time that she made all the difference to the apartment's look and feel.
Yep, Stone's lucky because I lost one of the talents that would actually have screwed him up if I went first.
Okay, so did you want to add anything to remember for next session? Because otherwise I'll put it on end credits.
I'll go through the list of the gear with you again later.
Don't pick a fight with an Arcanist.
Sorry?
Don't pick a fight with the Arcanist.
No, I'm not planning to.
I can see why he goes through shields like he
I was just going to say I did want to contact the children of Sotheby's for any advice they might give me if I end up having a face stone, if they know of any, but I don't have to do that now.
Okay, so going to end credits.